Okay. What up? What up? It is the Casual and Chill Crew podcast. I'm the homie HBK Vakora. I got the squad with me today. We just gonna go ahead and list everybody off. So you got It's Okay in the motherfucking building. You know what I'm saying? You got Isaiah Vane in the motherfucking building. I am dropping a lot of F bombs already early, so let's go ahead and dial back a little bit. You got the boy Just Josh. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie.
Yerp.
Shout out to the homie. You know what I'm saying? High energy, high energy. King Vasto Lorde in the muff effing building. You know what I'm saying?
Was good.
And we also got the homie Mello. You know what I'm saying? He usually pulls up just about every time. You know what I'm saying? Casual, true crew right there. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a minute. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks since we all had the chance to pull up. So I know a lot has happened, but we don't have everybody here. So before we start reminiscing on what's been going on these last couple of weeks, because there's quite a few things. We missed birthdays, we missed quite a few viral events that happened, and some other things as well. But we're back, and the hiatus is over. We finna start getting back to work, back to the grind. And so this podcast is gonna be a little chill, a little laid back, but we still got some things to talk about. And one of the first things I want to just throw out in the open is something we were already talking about. It is April 24th, which is the first day of the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders. And let me tell you right now, it was pretty damn chaotic. It was all over the place. Um, but if y'all want to say anything, if y'all want to jump in there before I start talking about what happened, uh,
So
yeah,
on my end, I ended up calling up GameStop, and they're like, "Yeah, you can come pick it up. I mean, you can come pre-order, but you should probably be quick." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'm paying my phone bill real quick." Went up to the GameStop, and they're like, "Oh, we actually don't have anymore." But Am went up to a different GameStop, and they still had pre. They were still taking pre-orders. So, but by the time basically it had spoiled my mood, so I was just like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. I don't want it no more because it just wasn't handled really well. Like, because I called them before I went up there.
You just wasting your time.
facts.
Yeah, so it kind of spoiled my mood. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I don't even want it anymore. Not to mention, like, I play Mario Kart, but I ain't a Mario Kart head, so it's probably not even worth it for me to get it day one anyway.
Right.
Ooh, yeah, I feel
That
you
Donkey
on
Kong
that.
shit look fire though.
I feel you on that. See, look, yes, and you're right too. The Donkey Kong game looks amazing, and that's why I'm mad that we didn't get a Donkey Kong bundle like you get the Mario Kart bundle. I want the Mario Kart bundle because I want to have a game with the Switch 2 when I get it. If you just get the Switch 2, then
Right.
what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to drop $100 on Mario Kart. So if I can get it for half price because I get it in the bundle deal, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was gonna get it. But if I had the choice, I
That's
would
you
have
know they
gotten.
trying to milk it.
Yeah, if I had a choice, I would have gotten the Donkey Kong bundle because the Donkey Kong to me looks like the better game. But what I did, I woke up and I walked straight over to the GameStop just to see if it was gonna be packed or not. Cause I'm like, if it's packed, then I know I'm not getting in there. But the GameStop by my house has been dead since the day I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like they get no business. So I was like, well, maybe just because it's a dead location, I can maybe get something off. By the time I got over there, the line was like 40 deep outside. I turned around and went right back home. But but so I was chilling with the homie Joe after after Nintendo first launched the Nintendo Direct where they told you, hey, you could go pre-order it and stuff like that. So me and Joe were talking on his stream, and one of his friends was like, "Yo, if you go on the Nintendo account, then you can sign up for their pre-order list through Nintendo themselves. You only got like 3 or 4 days to do so, but if you do that, then you could be on their list." And so I went over there and I signed up on that, and they sent me an email saying that my account was confirmed. So I'm hoping that Nintendo has my back and I can get a Switch 2 from Nintendo themselves by doing the sign up thing online. But if not, then I'm just in the dark and I'm gonna have to get it when I get it. But I'm not paying no $800-900 from these scalpers. And so I'm gonna just have to wait till Nintendo gets it back in stock if I don't get it day one. So I really don't know if I have it pre-ordered or not. I'm just hoping I do, because it is what it is. I want to get it at regular
if you
price,
didn't
but if I can't,
if
go
you didn't
ahead.
put no money down for it, I kind of want to say you don't have it.
For real, I would like to feel the same way, but I just don't know, man. I just don't know. Uh, Shout out real quick to Ayo Nani. You know what I'm saying? She pulled up. She pulled up. But yeah, man. I
Don't
think
need.
I think the Switch 2 is gonna be a good system once everybody has it in their hands. I don't think it's necessarily something you need to get day one though, because there's not really any games that are like, oh, I need that. Like, I have to have that. I've been hearing rumors, but until I see something confirmed, you know what I'm saying? Until one of those big games actually comes through, I'm not really feeling the hype. So I'm willing to wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
willing to get it day one if I can, but I'm also willing to wait. And that's kind of how I am. But I don't know how y'all feel about it.
I'm gonna wait.
So I'm gonna say one thing about it. There's one reason you shouldn't wait is it may they may
It's
get
gonna be
tariffed
higher.
and it's gonna be way more expensive.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
gonna
want
be
to bring
higher.
it up, but they potentially who knows what's gonna happen, but potentially it can get a lot more expensive. But typically hardware gets cheaper over time too, so maybe it'll balance out. But it might be worth getting if you're getting it, if you want to have it in the next, couple years.
See, yeah,
That's a
I
fair point.
I'm with you on that as well. That's why I tried to pre-order it today. I was unsuccessful. Really, what happened that kind of threw me off was that the pre-orders online went live last night. Had I known that, I would have been like more on point, you know what I'm saying, more on the swivel. But when even if you were ready to pre-order online when everybody else was, the Nintendo Switch 2 sold out in 45 seconds. So if you weren't as quick as possible on the swivel, second, like the second it was ready to go, you had to be ready. Otherwise, you weren't going to get one anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's no pulling up 2 minutes late and getting one and getting lucky. There's no, oh, my internet's messed up, so it's running a little bit slower. So hopefully I can. Nah. That thing wasn't even online for a minute and it sold out. So, knowing that, pre-ordering it
Yeah.
online just probably wasn't even an option to begin with. I was hoping that store was gonna be dead by my crib, but that let me down. Seeing that line 40 deep, you know what I'm saying? But
with
Anyway,
any of this hardware or new games that come out, I don't feel the urge to buy it, as soon as it comes out anymore. I think it's a bad idea. One, you can't get it. There's scalpers. There's just a lot of bad reasons to not buy anything. Kind of the first few weeks. It's better just to wait. It'll be cheaper. You won't have to deal with any of the BS that's comes with all the trying to get one, and maybe so they won't have a lottery system. Like it's same thing with for GPUs, graphics cards, or PlayStation 5 had the same problem. So I think this is the new normal. So I think people just got to get comfortable getting stuff late. You don't got to get the new stuff.
Yeah,
facts.
yeah, and I'm with it. I probably got my PS5 like 6 months after it had already released, and I was fine with it.
See, yeah, PS5 had the worst launch for gaming consoles. The worst launch ever, man, because not only did it sell out super quick, but that's what gave birth to all the crazy scalpers to begin with. Because it's like we've always had scalpers, but the level that they went to when it came to the PS5 shattered all expectations. There were people that were working at Amazon or
It was disgusting.
UPS, and they would pull up and steal your like they're pulling up to deliver your package. They take a picture with your package on the doorstep, and then they take it right back off the doorstep and put it back in the van so that they could take it home. There were people moving that diabolical when it came to the PS5. You know what I'm saying? Jeopardizing their jobs, stealing it off of your front porch. The eBay people, the people online or whatever, they'll send you the PS5 box with nothing in it. Everybody was trying to get over during the PS5 era, and I feel like a lot of that carried into the Xbox with their launch as well. You know what I'm saying? So, but what made the PS5 launch so bad, in my opinion, was the long term effect of it. Because once the PS5 sold out, it was damn near impossible to get another one unless you got it from a scalper, because Sony wasn't putting out no more shipments. They did like 2 shipments after the initial launch, and then it was just like, well, either you got it or you didn't. So good luck hunting for one out there. You know what I'm saying? It took me like a year and a half to get
I ended
my
up
PS5. A year and a half, maybe 2 years to get my
Mine came from
PS5.
Target. Mine came from Target.
Look, I know Target be having stuff on the sneak, on the low, and that's the spot to go to when you think no one else got it. But I feel like that in the pocket that ended when PS5 popped up. I'm telling you, PS5, it was sold out everywhere, man. You couldn't get it anywhere. You might have got it at Target. You might have got lucky, but not I. And I went to Target. You know what I'm saying? I pulled up to Best Buy. I pulled up to Target. I looked on Amazon. I looked on fucking Craigslist. There was nobody handing up the PS5 when it first dropped. And so now the Switch 2 is just repeating that, because I feel like every system since PS5 has repeated that that type of shit. So
Cycle.
yeah, that cycle. But yeah, like I said, Switch 2 doesn't
I
need to
think
be
it's
a day
just
one
the
anyway.
inventory.
Wait, you said what about their inventory?
So yeah, so not to get too political or anything, but all these electronic devices are the chips are made at TSMC, so there's only a
Hmm.
limited amount of space at this factory, and they make the best chips. They're in Taiwan, right? They make the best chips,
Yep.
so all this new technology is going to take a longer time. They don't have this big inventory like they used to have, where all they had multiple companies making chips, but it's all coming from this one factory, and then they have very limited supply, very limited inventory. So it's just how it's gonna be. I think it'll get better over time though, because we're hitting this, we're hitting, I forgot what they call it. Moore's law. There it is. Moore's law, where it can't keep shrinking the size of the die. I think we're at 3 nanometers now, so we got a couple more generations before they have to come out with some other way to build these chips. So it should get better in the next decade, but I think that's part of the problem is this limited inventory at this TSMC factory. So they got to sit there and build it for months and months and months so they can have enough inventory before they release these devices.
Damn. Well, I mean, there's always there's always something. There's always something. But we can go ahead and move on. I feel like we already covered what there is to cover about that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to just jump into what I'm hyped to talk about, which is WrestleMania. I don't know if you guys are big wrestling fans. I have become a huge wrestling fan over this last year and a half or so. So I'm fully invested in wrestling. I've been watching ever since it hit Netflix. But WrestleMania this year was crazy. And what was you gonna say, Vosto?
Oh
Okay.
no, go ahead, go ahead. My fault. I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was just clearing my throat.
But yeah, okay. So WrestleMania was crazy. I kind of want to spoil some stuff, but first, I kind of want to give the floor to the homie Josh because he actually went to WrestleMania. So before
Oh,
I talk
fire!
about, what it was, I'd like to hear from someone who actually got to get the full experience. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was a good time. It was hype. I wasn't expecting Stone Cold Steve Austin to show up. That was
Oh,
pretty
where
dope.
you there?
I'm gonna,
Yes. Everybody. Okay, not everybody was there, but
yeah.
there was a lot of big moments during WrestleMania. But yeah, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, it was a good time. We flew out to Vegas. We stayed the night before. We was there the whole weekend. We left like Monday morning. Uh, it was so many people. Like, there's this huge bridge, right? And you just have thousands and thousands of people walking across this bridge to go into WrestleMania. Crazy. You get there, you get your seat, you sit down. They got the food was actually it looked decent. I didn't eat anything personally because I don't like public bathrooms, but that's neither here nor there. You get there, the crowd is lively. Everybody's chanting, singing the words of the uh, of the superstars and whatnot. It was a good time. I gotta say, like, probably my favorite match is a match that don't even matter, but it's just because of the type of people that I like. But my favorite match was between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
That was your favorite match. That's
And
crazy.
yeah, and like all things considered, that is a crazy ass statement to say, considering we had John Cena out there, we had Randy Orton, and Randy Orton's like my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, we had a lot of
But yeah,
great
like it
matches, and
was.
it was a 2 day event. You know what I'm saying? So it was like there was wrestling night one and then wrestling night two, which was pretty dope.
Yeah. I think they said altogether it was over 100,000 people if you count both days. I know on the day that I went, it was over 60,000.
Man, you
So it was
crazy
around
too.
120,000 total.
Wow.
But yeah, it was hype. Like you could feel the energy being inside the arena.
Okay, all right. How good were the seats? How good were the seats? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I ain't have the best seats, but I ain't have the worst seats either. um, yeah,
Look, I'll ask like this:
we
if you had a
we
dream,
sat we sat at what's called the club level.
Okay.
So you could pretty much you could pretty much see everything. If I was to give a recommendation, I would have sat just a little closer than we sat, but like not before you get to the seats right above them. Because like if you like have what people don't get a lot of times, like if you either have floor seats, which are super expensive, you're sitting in basically the metal chairs, like the chairs you get at like Family Dollar, and then you're standing up the whole time because people are standing up in front of you.
That's real.
So where I was pretty comfortable.
You were like, I want to sit down. I was gonna
Yeah,
say, if
exactly.
you
I'm
had a
about to be
drink,
there for 4 hours.
if you had a beer, and Steve Austin needed you to throw him a beer, would you be able to make it? Would the beer make it to him?
No.
How far?
No.
You know,
I
I
was
mean,
at the point where the seats where I was that was like you could choose to either watch the monitor or watch the ring.
oh, okay,
That's
I
how
get
close
you.
I was.
I look, I seen the videos you sent me, so I kind of have an idea of how close you were. I was just trying to get a little imagery out there for the people that don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I think you had
It
pretty
was a
good
good.
spots. You could clearly like look down and see the whole ring and see everything that was going on. And if you see how big that stadium is, you know what I'm saying? Like you could have been in the nosebleeds. You could have been far back looking through binoculars trying to see the ring. You know what I'm saying? But you were pretty close up there to where like, you know what I'm saying? You could just look down and be like, "Oh, snap."
Yeah. Did anybody peep Rhea Ripley's outfit?
Yes. Look, there was a couple of
See, now I
shout
gotta
outs
go
on
look
there.
because we're really inspired.
There was a couple shout
It's the
outs. Let's
Batman
see.
that laughs.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley dressed up as the Batman Who Laughs. And it's from the Batman comic books. Pretty iconic. You know what I'm saying? It's a one of a kind type look. So when she comes out and she has the mask on, you know that's who she's cosplaying as. But also, or I almost said
Bruh,
cosplaying,
Penta
paying
Penta came out
homage.
looking like the damn Green Ranger.
That's hard. But did you catch Jade Cargill? She came out representing Storm from X Men.
That shit.
It was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying?
That's perfect.
She had a look.
That's just her in real life.
Yeah, she is pretty much just like Storm in real life. That's why I was like, man, that was a really good pick for her. You know what I'm saying? Something easy, but at the same time, she had that shit on. I'll tell you that much. But
Cosplayed herself.
there was some great matches. Day 2, I think, was definitely the better day. Day 1 had some iconic moments as well. If you pay attention to wrestling at all or whatever, one of the big dudes that's killing the game right now is Jay Uso. All the kids love him, and he just beat his bully. So, you know what I'm saying? He choked out Gunther, and he became the champion, the world heavyweight champion. People was eating that up. You know what I'm saying? All the kids love that dude. So he's kind of on top of the world right now when it comes to the champions, and like, you know what I'm saying? He's a baby face. I think he'll probably be the champion for a while, in my opinion.
Let's let's not forget about his cousin though.
Yes, who's my favorite wrestler? Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu crushed LA Knight. And I like LA Knight too, but LA Knight, I knew his reign as champion wasn't gonna last. The only reason he became the champion was he had to take it off of the other dude, who was Shinsuke Nakamura, Shinsuke didn't do shit with the belt. He won the belt and he held on to it for like 3 months and didn't even really wrestle nobody. So they were like, bro, you got to come up off that. And the person that you beat for it was LA Knight. So we're just gonna give it back to LA Knight. You know what I'm saying? But I just knew he wasn't gonna hold the belt. I strongly believe Jacob Fatu is gonna hold the belt. You know what I'm saying? He's not easy to beat. He runs down on
It's my
anybody that pulls up on him.
it's my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion that not a lot of people can beat him. Like if you're not a big man, you got no shot. Like I feel like the only people that could really beat Jacob is like Roman Reigns, Damian Priest. Like you gotta be a big man.
Yeah, see,
Gotta be
Otherwise, whatever your
Hawaiian.
best move is,
go ahead.
I got quiet.
oh, I think we was all waiting on each other.
Now I said you
What I
gotta be
was saying is,
Hawaiian like him.
yeah.
Oh, we.
Like, cause like here's the thing, right? You'll hit him with like a special move, and he'll just pop right back up, unfazed. And then when mans jump in the air, gravity no longer affects him. Crazy.
Yeah, bro.
He don't play by big man rules.
He gonna hit you with that swanton bomb or that frog splash like 2 times, and it's over. But sometimes he does a third one
Which is
just to make
crazy. You
sure.
ever been frog splashed by a 300-pound nigga?
I was about to say he does that shit. That nigga is huge.
Yes.
He does
Yes.
moonsaults.
Is
That's
your whole
crazy.
problem.
Moonsaults. And he's 300 plus pounds. He'll jump off the turnbuckle and do backflips and pop people or whatever. Like
That's
that's his
crazy.
special move. That's his special move.
That's peak athleticism.
For real. It looks crazy to see it, but he just does it so much that honestly I love it. Like I say, he's my favorite wrestler right now because he talks like a hood nigga, but at the same time he backs it up.
Hmm.
He's not nobody to sleep on, and yeah, you need top tier wrestlers like John Cena, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. These are like the greats right now. You said Damian Priest, and Damian Priest is definitely one of those top tier dudes. But I don't think Damian Priest would be able to beat Jacob Fatu personally. I think it would be a great match.
He has a shot.
I think it would be a
I think he has a
great.
shot. I think he has a shot. But if I had to bet money, I would bet. I'm always betting with Jacob.
Yeah,
Like
he's a
the only match I think I wouldn't bet with Jacob on is Roman.
You're right. Cause look, Roman Reigns is nasty, bro. Roman Reigns is he's dang near the cheapest. He's the cheapest wrestler on the game. If you're playing wrestling the game, you gotta hit Roman Reigns with 5 specials before you can beat him. Because 4 specials is not enough. He's gonna get out. He's gonna pop up 3 times. That fourth one, you're gonna think you got him, and he's gonna pop up at the last second. You gotta hit him with 5 specials. He is the number one specimen when it comes to wrestling. So he's the guy to beat for sure. He could probably beat Jacob Fatu. I would have to agree. But Jacob Fatu is he's like such an enigma. And plus, now that he has the belt on his waist, that's even more reason for him to like be untouchable right now. Most people that get the belt, they don't lose it. You know what I'm saying? They defend it at least a couple of times before it comes up off them. I think Jacob Fatu's
Yeah, it's
untouchable
it's
right
pretty
now.
much a wrap.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I do think Roman could beat him. You're right. But I want to talk about the main event. The main event was kind of crazy. So, if you haven't been watching wrestling, John Cena's going on this epic run right now. John Cena's getting ready to retire from wrestling. So he said, I'm going to become the champion one more time before I leave. And when I retire, I'm taking the belt with me so there can never be another champion after me. I'm your last world champion. And he didn't have the belt when he said that.
And definitely losing his next match.
Look, he didn't have the belt when he said that. Cody Rhodes had the belt. Cody Rhodes is like a superhero in wrestling. Everybody believes in him, that he can do no wrong, and like whenever he says something, people rally behind him like he's Captain America. You know what I'm saying? So John Cena, he's the heel, and Cody Rhodes is obviously the babyface. But John Cena was like, look, I don't give a fuck what you guys think about me. I've been here for so long. I've been here 20, 30 years plus, and all I've ever done was give you guys what you asked for. And you guys spit that in my face, chew me up, you know what I'm saying, roast me, make fun of me, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff. So he was like, I'm not doing this stuff for y'all anymore. I'm doing this for me. And y'all know that y'all are wrong for the way that you treated me, so I'm justified in leaving with the belt. You know what I'm saying? I deserve to have the belt because I earned it, and you guys are just going to have to be upset with the fact that I'm leaving and I'm taking it with me. And Cody Rhodes ran out there like, nah, I'm not going to let you take the belt from these people, blah, blah, blah. Here's the plot twist. The fans turned on Cody Rhodes and was like, John Cena is right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, whatever John Cena was saying, they were like, you were right. He was like, you guys should apologize to me, but you'll never do it. The fans start saying, we're sorry, John Cena. They start chanting. You know what I'm saying? So he has them eating out of the palm of their
That's
hand.
crazy.
And Cody Rhodes goes out there and wrestles him during WrestleMania, right? The fans are booing Cody Rhodes. Booing this nigga. So it's like Captain America lost his powers. You know what I'm saying? And now for the first time ever, Cody Rhodes was touchable. Because this guy, he was like Goku. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't lose a match no matter how many people were against him. He got jumped on like a 3 versus 1, 4 versus 1, and he still won that match somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the guy. But because the fans turned on him, and they wanted to see John Cena win the belt, because he said he was going to leave with it, so they don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? The fans don't believe that was going to happen. So they're fed into the storyline, and now John Cena's their champion. He beat the sleeves off of Cody Rhodes during WrestleMania, and he was like, now all I got to do is defend it for like the next, I think it's like 3 or 4 months. I don't know. He said he's leaving in December. Once December's over, he's gone. He's retired from wrestling, and he's taking the belt with him. So he's got however many months. I'm sure someone's gonna pop up and you know what? Randy Orton is gonna try to take the belt from him. Is he gonna be able to do it? I doubt it. I really like Randy Orton.
I think so.
And I'm not trying to shit on him. But storyline wise, I think John Cena has to run over the first 2 people that challenge him. It's gonna be the third person is that, like, can they do it? You know what I'm saying? Can they stop him? So
that makes a lot of sense.
I think he's gonna run over Randy Orton, and I think he's gonna run over the next guy too. But if the third person is Roman Reigns, I think that's Roman Reigns' way back.
That would be crazy.
I think that's his way back up to the top.
That would be
He's
crazy.
The one to beat John Cena. But even crazier than that, The Rock. The Rock is supposed to be involved in this storyline some way, shape, or form. And I don't know if he's going to pop up or not. But The Rock is the dude that co-signed John Cena. You know what I'm saying? So The Rock, he's doing some wild stuff in the real world right now. Like, outside of the world of wrestling, The Rock is doing Twitter fingers right now. And he's giving spoilers on behind the scenes stuff that's going on with wrestling. I'm not a fan of that, and it's kind of surprising to me that The Rock would be the one doing that. You know what I'm saying? Giving away the sauce, spoilers and stuff like that. But I don't know. It could be part of a storyline. It could be he's just drumming up some drama. But regardless, The Rock he's always entertaining to watch whenever he pulls up. And last time he pulled up, he was talking about taking Cody Rhodes' soul. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
hopefully
I
that's
wasn't
the way
feeling that
Rock comes
shit, to
back.
be honest.
I was because it's never gone there before. And I like when wrestling does something new. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about wrestling for souls now, we're already getting into
I
spiritual
mean, yes, it has.
territory. Like when you start talking about the Ula Fala or whatever, the thing that Roman Reigns wears around his neck, there's some type of spiritual
Right.
It's not.
wisdom that comes from that.
It's not the same though.
It's not.
It's not the same though.
It's
What you
not.
mean?
But I still think it's
I
interesting.
mean, it's not taking. It's not selling your soul.
Here's what I would find more entertaining about that. How would they sell that on, like, in terms of a storyline? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously you didn't really sell your soul, but how are you going to make the audience believe that? That's what I would have liked to see if Cody Rhodes went down that road. But because he was the ultimate Captain America, he was like, screw you, Rock. You could never have my soul. It belongs to the fans. You know what I'm saying? And fans started cheering. But then John Cena was like, all right, boss, I got to do it. And The Rock was like, take him out. And John Cena he betrayed Cody Rhodes. It's one of the biggest memes of all time. You know, that's where you see John Cena holding Cody Rhodes and he's looking behind him. You know what I'm saying? That picture where he's about to stab him in the back. I've seen that meme so many
Right.
times. You know what I'm saying? So that's the big moment. You know what I'm saying? And the big moment at WrestleMania is that John Cena won and Cody Rhodes lost. The hero lost and the bad guy won. So we're now in the era of the bad guy. And to be real, we got more than one. We got two, technically three, because there was another big battle, another really big wrestling match, and it was a triple threat match. It had Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. CM Punk was supposed to win. This is his first WrestleMania ever. People have wanted to see him inside of WrestleMania for like the last 10 to 15 years. But there was all types of things that happened. He just never got to be in one until right now. He had injuries. He had quit, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So this is his first WrestleMania ever. And he is destroying both Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at the same time. But the plot twist in this match is the manager. See, all three of them have a relationship with a dude named Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman is the best manager in all of wrestling. That's my opinion, but I'm pretty sure most people would agree. So, Paul
Yeah, that's
Heyman,
fair.
Paul Heyman is Roman Reigns' manager. He's CM Punk's best friend, and he also, back in the day, used to manage Seth Rollins. So he's involved with all three of them. Now, what happens is CM Punk's like, yo, because Paul Heyman's my best friend and he owes me a favor, I want him to wrestle in my corner at WrestleMania instead of your corner, Roman Reigns, so that I can beat your ass because whoever has Paul Heyman has the advantage. He's such a like manipulative, wise man when it comes to the wrestling sport. You know what I'm saying? That if he's in your corner, it does something to your career. You know what I'm saying? Like it instantly makes you a top tier guy. Just having Paul Heyman in your corner alone. But anyway, so the wrestling match starts. Paul Heyman's in CM Punk's corner. But then there's a point in the match where all three of them get knocked down to the ground. And Paul Heyman picks up a chair and he goes to slide it in the ring. And Roman Reigns and CM Punk look at him at the same time. So they're like, who are you going to give the chair to? You know what I'm saying? And Paul Heyman gives the chair to CM Punk. And he's like, sorry, Roman. You like, I know you're my boss.
I got work to do. I gotta take it.
But yeah, anyway, so he gives the chair to CM Punk. CM Punk gets ready to crack Roman Reigns on the head, and then Paul Heyman hits CM Punk with a low blow, and he drops the chair, and then he gives the chair to Roman. And so Paul Heyman was like, "Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just had to backstab CM Punk so that Roman Reigns can, win this match." And so he knocks out CM Punk with the chair. He hits him like 3 times. And then he looks over at Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins is like struggling to get up. You know what I'm saying? He's got his back turned. And Paul Heyman was like, go attack him. Go get him just like you got CM Punk. So Roman Reigns gets ready to crack Seth Rollins with the chair. And then Paul Heyman hits Roman Reigns with a low blow as well. And so Paul Heyman backstabbed CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And then he gives the chair to Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins hits both of them with his special, hits both of them with the chair, and then, he wins the match. And it's a huge mind fuck for everyone watching because Paul Heyman spent like the last 5-6 years being on Roman Reigns' team. So like everybody knows Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns go together. The fact that he backstabbed him is crazy. But the fact that he backstabbed CM Punk is crazy too because he said that's his best friend. So he betrayed his best friend and his boss for like the last 5 years for this other nigga. And it makes you kind of wonder who the hell is Seth Rollins? You know what I'm saying? What are they gonna do now that Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are working together? Wild stuff. Wild stuff. But anyway, half of y'all are on mute, so I don't really know if y'all was feeling what we was talking about. But at the same time, wrestling is something that I'm hype about right now. So I'm like, regardless, we're gonna have to talk about it. But anyway,
It's really good right now.
the last thing I wanted to get on is something I don't really know too much about. So I was hoping that y'all would enlighten me and give me the detail. I know some stuff about it, but I don't know everything that happened. So I would honestly like some insight, some of the details. If y'all know the tea, let me know. But what's going on with Shannon Sharp?
Oh, basically, so this girl that is basically suing him for sexual harassment. Basically, that's basically it. People was making a joke saying that he was like that he was trying to buy Tubi,
Weak.
trying to say that. That's why they coming after him or whatever. But that's basically it. It's not nothing crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I heard
I
she was
heard
on
she was a
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans girl.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She is. She's the OnlyFans girl. Yup.
And look, I heard he was trying to choke her or some shit like that. And he threatened to choke her. I heard some crazy stuff. And that's why I was just like, I don't know what's out there. But I honestly I didn't check. You know what I'm saying? So I knew he
Right.
had some sexual stuff. I seen what the girl looks like. And then someone was saying she was trying to charge him $25,000 per cheek. And I'm like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
She wanted 50.
Her
I heard
cheek
she
is
was
crazy.
suing. I heard she was suing for 50 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
50
even
mil.
Like
wild.
basically, like wait, what he said is like it's basically a shakedown in his words. Don't nobody talk like that no more. But that's what he said.
Yep. And she's saying that she said no one time, and he kept going type of thing. So, you know how these things go. I think she's gonna get some money and that's gonna be it. But he did get he's on leave at ESPN, so it is a serious matter, but she's
Yeah.
only suing him civilly. So if they're really, I have my own opinions on it, but I'm just trying to
Say it.
give you what I've
Say
heard.
it. What's your
Well,
opinion?
my homie said that he tried to settle with her. He tried to offer her a $10 million settlement, and if you tried to settle and they say no, that doesn't look bad. That makes it look like you're guilty. You're admitting guilt, and they weren't trying to accept that. So honestly, she probably could get more money now that if she turned down his offer.
Right.
Right. I don't buy too much into whether or not what that says about. That's what normally what these rich people do, right? They sorry, how much money to make you go away, right? So whether
Yeah.
it's true or not, it's about how much damage is going to do to his reputation. So how much money can I give you and not feel the pain or whatever's gonna going through this process is gonna take. Um,
See,
but
here's
we'll see
what
what
I think
happens.
personally. Here's what I think personally, right? I think anytime somebody's asking for money, you probably didn't do it because, like, if you committed a crime, they don't want money; they want you in jail,
See,
Nah, not necessarily.
I feel
bruh.
like
You shoot me, I don't care. I don't care about the money. I want you in jail. I want you. I want
But
you
that's not
under the
that's not
jail.
the situation though. Remember, she's an OnlyFans chick. She's trying to get her money.
Yeah, but that would
to
still
me,
insinuate that he didn't really commit a crime because if he committed a crime, she wouldn't want money. She would want him put away.
exactly. If you
She can
took
get
the
both.
money, if you took the money, that's a form of consent. You know what I'm saying? Yes,
I
you're getting
guess.
yes, you're getting paid off, but like at the same time, that means you willingly accepted payment for what happened,
I, I
which
don't
which
know
is a
about
form of
that.
consent.
I don't know if that was true. R. Kelly would be free, and Bill Cosby would be free. All these guys would be free.
But
No, no,
look,
no,
So
no,
I
no,
think
no,
hold
no,
on.
no.
R.
But
Kelly
see,
was
that's
free.
exactly. Hold on, that's exactly what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying, right? R. Kelly's in jail because he committed the crime. It's not like he committed this crime, but we'll take some money. Nah, that motherfucker's in jail because he did it. If he didn't do it, he should be he should be free and had to pay money. But since he did it, they want him in jail. That's my point. Like
Let me
she
ask
wants
this
money, she
question.
doesn't want him in jail.
This is sidetracked. This is definitely a sidetrack question. But let me ask this question: what was R. Kelly actually guilty of?
Come on, come on.
What?
No, look.
Sleeping with
I
minors,
want
Bucky
bro.
Boondocks,
no.
free
I
R.
want you
Let
to.
me
Kelly, free R.
I
Kelly.
want you to
let,
really give me the answer because look, I'm not talking about the first time. There was a tape, and everybody knows that he did it, but he paid the people off, which to me, in my
you
opinion,
can't
is a
you
form of
can't pay to pee
consent.
on minors.
Look, he
you
did.
can't
He
pay to pee
did.
on minors.
He did. That case was dismissed, was it not?
It was, but he still peed on a minor.
So now, look, he did. You know, I'm not denying that. I will never deny that he was the one in that video. But now take it to the second witch hunt, because I take it. When they came and got R. Kelly and put him in jail this time, it was a witch hunt. You might not like him personally,
Bro,
but
look. It's not a witch hunt when you actually done these things. That's not a witch hunt.
okay. So now I take it back to the question of what was he guilty of when they came and arrested him the second time.
I don't remember what the second case was about, but
Crazy,
I don't
crazy
know the
how people
specifics
don't know
either,
that.
but in the court of public opinion, he was guilty of a pattern of behavior,
This is
right?
true.
right,
That's
right,
basically
exactly.
what
That's what I'm saying.
what
That's
these
not a
guys
witch
But hold
hunt.
did.
on. But
He
that's
did these
only the court
things.
of public opinion. That's only the court of public opinion. And if we judged everybody through the court of public opinion, then damn near everybody would be locked up. To be real, throw away the key on everyone.
That's true.
But you gotta remember though too. He remember the sexual trafficking. There was a lot of stuff going on. It wasn't just him. There
There was
wasn't
a
just
lot of
that one
women.
thing. Yeah,
A lot of
exactly.
women lined up.
There was a lot of women that came out and accused him of sexual trafficking and stuff like that. I would like to point out
Right.
the majority of those
It was
women,
consensual, but it's illegal.
the majority of those
That's
women
what it comes
were
down to.
proven to have been lying and
To
putting
be,
out false
yeah, they
statements.
got paid off.
This is why
They got
I
paid
say
off. Yeah,
people that lie,
that's true.
women that lie, should be put, on trial.
Should have to go to jail.
prison. They should have to go to jail if you're lying
They
on
should.
paperwork and documents. Because all you're doing is saying, hey, okay, now look, something may have happened to one of those victims. I'm no expert on the situation either. I was just asking the question because, like I said, I remember how it went down. It was a witch hunt. You know what I'm saying? They didn't
Right.
really have much evidence on him, but
I mean,
based on
if
him
you
being
put-
guilty in the court of public opinion, they said, yeah, just lock his ass up. He shouldn't have even got away the first time. You know what I'm saying? People judged him based on his prior crimes, and that's not the way the law should work. You should be.
That
What's that
does-
other guy that? What's the
That
other
does
guy that
happen a
happened
lot.
to? What's that famous football player? That case? I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, you talking about from the Browns?
We talking about
Yeah, he had a white wife. They said he killed him. OJ, there we go.
Oh,
OJ.
OJ.
They locked him
Bruh.
up for something
You talking
completely
about? I think it's
different.
somebody else.
But he's guilty of killing his wife, so they wanted to get him back for that. So that happens
True.
all the time.
That is what happened to him.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right though.
So,
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
mean,
I just want to point out my point that it wasn't right what they did to R. Kelly. It was not right what they did to R. Kelly. You don't have to like the dude, but he didn't get a fair shake at the law system when it came to his second go around. Just wanted to throw it out there. I know this was a tangent, and you know what I'm saying. I don't really want to die on this hill. I don't want to be the one that's white flagging for R. Kelly. I just wanted to bring it to the attention that, like, you know what I'm saying. That nigga was.
I mean, it sounds like you are, bro. It sounds like you are.
Look,
This is a bad
he's
argument.
the king of R&B. He's the king of R&B still. I stand by the statement.
Hey, he's the king of touching little girls too.
They
You
can
know
get
what?
they can
Look,
get music tracks in prison too. People be recording music in prison, so hey, the music can keep going.
that is crazy that he's the king of what you think he's the king of. I will not claim that statement, but I'm sure some people
Hey,
would.
look, we can't claim it. We can't not claim it either. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the dark.
I'll continue
yeah.
to call
To
him
say he's the
of
king,
R&B.
to say he's the king of that though assumes that like Hollywood and Nickelodeon don't exist.
Yeah, they want to get him back what he did
look,
to
bro. You act like
Aaliyah.
they all don't mingle. They all mingle in the same crowd. All these people do these people do the same thing together.
I don't.
I agree.
I don't know.
And you know who else should be locked up? You know who else should be locked up though?
Diddy.
The
Who?
parents who let their children go to these places.
I agree with that too. I agree.
Yes, for sure. The parents that chose to leave their children in the hands of another adult that they do not know, just for a bag or some type of financial opportunity. Those parents are the ones that are responsible for those situations happening. You're not being.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not protecting your child. You're putting them in.
'Cause at this point, we all know what's going on. Like,
go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say at this point, we all know what's going on. It's like it's common knowledge. So like any like events like that, like your kids shouldn't be there. If you have your child in Hollywood unsupervised by you as the parent, you should be locked up because we know what goes on in Hollywood. Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. If you're not watching your kid at all times, you should be locked up because at this point we know what goes on in those places. I don't care if it's
No, you're
Disneyland.
right. You're 100% right.
Now look, actually, I don't even want to go down that route because that one could get pretty
It
crazy.
get dark
But
quick. It gets
Yeah.
dark quick.
Yeah,
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 so
assuming that these parents care. Like people just trying to get their bag. They don't give a fuck about their kids. There's a lot of people like that in this world, so it's not surprising for me.
Yeah, but I don't mean like, they care. I mean like they'll
No,
care
he's
that
saying
they
they
got
should
to
go to
spend time
jail.
in jail. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need them to care. I need them to do prison time.
for real.
Facts.
And that takes me to this next question that's on the fly. So, how do we feel about life sentences slash death sentences for the P file community?
P5 community. Oh, okay. I was confused for a second, but I get what you're saying.
Yep, you put it
The
together.
certified lover boy.
Certif- Whoa, is that what we're calling them now?
Yeah,
Oh,
y'all funny.
the OVO crew.
Oh man, Drake turning in his grave right now since he been buried by
But the A minor community. That's even worse. Oh my god. You know what I'm talking about. What how it's a question that someone else brought up to me. They said that they feel like it's justified. So, I'm just bringing the question to y'all now. I am honestly under the belief that all life is precious and that no one should kill anybody. You know what I'm saying? But this is when it comes to a death sentence or a life sentence, it's something that's chosen by a court system, a peers. You know what I'm saying? So I honestly take that one off the table when it comes to life or death situations because I'm like that was a group decision. If someone passed a death sentence on you in
Bro.
court, that was a group decision. That wasn't one person trying to take your life. You know what I'm saying? So I
right,
actually
right.
stand by that
Yeah,
and think it's a little justified when if it comes to that inside of a court system setting. So I'm with it to be real, and I know that sounds crazy to say, but I think we that community needs to start being punished with in more severe ways because usually it's a slap on the wrist or it's like 7 to 10 years or something like that. To be like I've seen some light sentences come from offenders, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of rubs me in the wrong way when oh this person did this that and the third and then they're 35. Like they did this when they were 18, but now they're 35, and they're just like, "Oh man, I just can't be around schools." No, you shouldn't be around at all.
That's crazy.
Like you should be locked up for life, or you should
I
you
agree
should
with you.
have a final date that you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? And I know
An
some people
Right.
expiration
might think
date?
that's
He
crazy.
said an
That's
expiration date.
extreme, but
Nah, cause you right. Cause then all they do is become repeat offenders.
yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, and I'm
Yeah.
glad you caught it because I don't know if I would have worded it like I don't know if I would have came up with the terminology. So yes, that community often becomes repeat offenders, and that's why I think their sentences should be a lot more harsh than they are. If we're not talking life or death or whatever, if we're not putting that on the table, I think the minimum should be 15 to 20. You know what I'm saying? Let them really sit down and think about what it is that they're doing. But also to double up, women got to stop lying. And I'm not saying it's only women. So whoever throws in a false
But they
claim
should they
about a
should face
sexual
capital
assault,
punishment.
whatever they're trying to accuse that person of, however many years that person would have to serve for that egregious behavior, they should have to serve at least half of that time for lying. So if you're saying this dude did this, that, and the third, tried to kill you, blah, 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 and because of that, he might have been looking at potentially 15 years, you should have to sit down for at least 7.
I agree with that. That you should at least do half, right?
Yeah, I think they should have to do half. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, let's not be crazy with it, but you got to feel the effects of what you did because you were already trying to ruin someone else's life. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right,
I'm
right.
not even saying it has to be a felony charge. I think if it's more than 5 years, it is considered a felony charge. I was cool labeling it as a misdemeanor. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't completely ruin your life, but you should have to sit down for half, no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? And if they're talking about life, it was what the dude should have to say, then you should have to sit down for 20 plus, because that to me is fair. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has their own opinion of what's fair. You know what I'm saying? And I know my shit comes off crazy as extreme sometimes, but I feel like the law is crooked, and it's that pendulum, that Libra scale
Fact.
thing. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna lean in one direction. So if it's gonna lean in a direction anyway, I would prefer it lean in my direction, towards my morals and my alignments. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. That's just me. Uh, but what do y'all think? I wanted to come in first and say that I'm with it. To be real, y'all don't.
Anybody else gonna go, or should
Yeah,
I go?
y'all don't got no statement.
Yeah, bro. I just agree. I agree.
I agree with everything you
Like
said. So I don't really. You said everything pretty much.
I'm gonna disagree. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, just because, well, not because I don't think it's. Here's what I would do with these people. Right.
Just to play
I would
devil's
separate them
advocate.
from society. Yeah, or you can say that. I would separate them from society and then have them live in a separate area. I don't know if you ever seen. It kind of reminds me of that. It's an anime that Psychopath, I think it is. Yeah. Well, they have like these people that are susceptible to do certain things. Like they have like a computer calculation that tell, hey, this guy's crazy. You got to get um put into this program because he's potential to do something crazy. I can't remember the exact scenario, but essentially, I think we should do that with these kind of people who have violated society's rules. Because you got to think about it too. At one point in time in history, this was acceptable behavior. Right or wrong, that's what people were doing back in the day. So I think you got to take these people, put them in their own society because these are still people. How many pedophiles do you think are out there in the world, right? Whatever that percentage of people,
Too many.
we're
If
not
you
gonna just
go in
lock them
that,
all up. We're not gonna lock them all up, right? So we're gonna have to put them somewhere else where they can still serve the greater society, but also not expose them to, you know, other people's children.
I actually really like your answer, to be dead honest, because like I said earlier, I'm against taking life, but like I understand this the I understand when judgment's passed, if it's made through a group decision, I'm more lenient towards it and when it comes to that. But you are giving a pretty good alternative in my mind. My Where I question it is where I start. All right, well, where would we put them? You know what I'm saying? Like, how would we
Send them to
resources
another
and all
country.
that
It's not
stuff?
like
You know what I'm
all
saying?
countries are stopping these things.
You gotta put them on an island. You gotta put them on an island. To be honest with you, you gotta put them on an island. I mean, you think about it, you think it's kind of cruel, but prison is worse, right? So you just got to put them on some place that's isolated, maybe an island or a different country where they're kind of out of society. Basically, when you go to jail, basically is society saying this person shouldn't be a part of society anymore. So instead of putting them in jail, we put them in some,
Man, I
something like
actually
that.
think
Bro,
Is that a
if they made
punishment
an
for what they've done
island,
though? Like,
if they made an island that you just get
bro's creating
punished for
pedophile
being too
island.
bad, yeah. For look,
Pedophile Island is crazy.
I don't want to call it that. I don't want to call it that.
It is. Hey, I call it how I see it.
But
Man,
imagine,
that's what
Yo,
man said, right?
imagine being sent to an island because you were
Yeah,
too
act like they're
bad.
murderers, man. They're not gonna go around killing people. It's just gonna be,
Man,
another country.
Dead Man Wonderland.
nah, cause you know what you're doing at that point. You're creating a power of pedophiles, then, bro. Once I become
Look, man, I would
nigga,
do that.
pedophiles gonna rise up and turn against us.
That would be a terrible place. Imagine getting
If they
sent
could
there.
do that, then they would do that in prison too. They would do that in prison too. They would rise up in prison. That doesn't happen, so
No,
I don't
no,
see
they would
why
be
this
killed
guy.
in
No,
prison.
no, it wouldn't. It's not the same thing. They're being watched at that point. If you just put them on an island, they're not being watched.
You could watch them too. I mean, you could do that. I mean, that
I
you
want to
have
watch
that
them.
technology.
He said,
I
"I
don't want
want
to
to
watch them.
watch
But if
them,
they're
but
on an
I don't want to
island, they
watch
can't
them
go
either."
nowhere. So what's the problem?
Look, the problem is that they're repeat offenders. That's the problem for me. They need
That's the
to just
problem,
sit
right?
in jail, in my mind. But like, if you're gonna throw them away on an island, then that island needs to be like cut off
Pedophile island.
from society.
But if you're
Like
gonna
you
put them
get,
in jail for life, or are you gonna put them in jail for a couple years and put them back into our society?
I would
If you
look.
put them in jail for life, you might as well just kill them because that's basically we're basically paying for them to just sit there.
Okay, so look, if you put
All
them
right.
on this
Well, you heard it.
island,
We might as well just kill them.
but no, no, really, if you put them on this island though, is this an island of reform? Are you expecting them to come back? You know what I'm saying? Because
No,
how many years are
that's
they
not how it
gonna
works in
spend on this island?
Psychopaths. Once you're marked with the mark, that's it. That's your whole life. You can never come back.
That
Oh, okay.
was damn near the
Okay.
same
I'm okay
thing.
with it. I'm okay with it.
Damn near the same
Wouldn't we?
thing.
My thing is this though. Like, wouldn't we still have to keep them alive? And technically, we'd have to provide some type of that island is not gonna be able to
They will
survive.
have
Once
their
you
own
put some,
society. It'd be like
Yeah,
North Korea, right? Like that. They'll
yeah,
have their own
it's
little
an
society.
island though. It's an island. So like, eventually, you'd have to. They would start to run out of shit.
I mean, they would still have their own society. There'll be no children in this society, just only grown adults. Yes, they would have to be probably sterilized too, forcefully sterilized,
That's
which is part
crazy.
of. They already do that
Yo,
as a society, so it's not that
yo,
crazy. Some people do
I
get
am with it.
sterilized,
I am with
I.
it 100%.
You know what?
but they
Honestly,
can still have their own life, their own society. They'll have their own it'll just be
look.
So can
separate
we
but
just create a
equal, right?
society? Can we,
It's like a
can
game
we create like island of Anubis? You know what Anubis is, right?
Nah.
And the reason you have to sterilize them because they can create kids, right? And theoretically, there'll be a
Right.
male and a female, so you gotta
Island
have
of
to
the
convince
Anubis.
that
Let's cut the dick
factor.
off. Nah, that's fucked up.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Whoa,
whoa.
Hey, you
that's
look.
crazy.
Hey, look.
Oh, like
Look,
a eunuch, yes.
not all of them are males. Not all of them are males. So you know what I'm saying? That wouldn't solve the problem for everyone. That would only solve the problem for
All right, you're right. You're right.
you know what I'm saying? But I think
That's why you have to get vasectomies and hysterectomies, for
yeah, I
everybody.
think that should be mandatory. Sterilization of some form should be mandatory for them, and they should have to live on that island for about 7 to 10 years. And I think that's a good enough.
Wait, so
I think that's good enough in terms of
I was gonna,
reform. I'm
Right,
not saying
right.
I don't know
anything
about
else.
bringing them back to society. I would never do it. I said they got to stay there forever. Some people live good lives, as a single person. You can still have internet. You still have a society. You just can't
I mean,
go
would they
off
be
the
single
island.
at that point though? Because you're saying you're still gonna put women on. You said he was saying there's still gonna be women on the island. You said it's not only men, so that means there's gonna be women on the island. They're not gonna be single. They're eventually
Yeah,
gonna
they
go
can
to
do whatever, but they can't have kids. They can have kids, but they can still have, live. What do they call them? What's that thing that our generation is into? Uh, dual
Polygamy.
income, no. There's like a term for people that are dual income, no kids. People haven't heard this before.
I know what you're talking
oh,
about.
Nah,
like
but
There's a term for these people. It's like popular in millennials and Gen Z. It's like
I
two
I
people
mean,
know what
come
you're talking
you
about.
together
I
did
and
it.
forgot
they don't want to have
there's so
kids.
many fucking terms. I forgot the name of
Yeah,
it though.
You
What are you
there's a
talking about
term for
though?
that.
you
It's
did
very
describe
popular.
you did describe my life. Dual income, no kids.
I think that's what it is. It's called something like dual income. It might be that abbreviation actually. Dual income. I got to think about it, but yeah, that's the idea that they would have a fulfilling, a full life just like anybody else. Just you're not allowed to have kids because you broke society's laws, and you have to live in this island that you broke society's law. The island can be pretty big, so they can have they can have a Walmart. They can have everything like a normal society would have. It's not like they're in prison. It just they have to be in this. They're basically exiled to this country, essentially.
I'm not mad
I'm
at it.
with it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not mad at it.
It's called Dink. That's what it is. Dink. There it is. Dink. Dink.
Now,
It's called a Dink lifestyle. Dual income, no kids. That's what it stands for.
plot
What a
Nah,
twist.
dink.
it just that thought just scares me though, because it's like, all right, let's say we did that, right, and they made their own country. But what about the people who that we don't know that are pedophiles that are in higher positions? Now they're gonna use that.
Well, you gotta catch them. You
What do you
gotta
mean?
catch them before
Yeah, you
you
gotta catch. I mean,
convict
you
them.
still gotta catch them. That's a problem, regardless of what you do, right?
You know what I'm saying? Some of them are
Yeah, but now
pretty
you've given them a
nasty.
whole fucking island in a country.
All right, we'll make them a state. All right, we'll make them a state, so that they still have to be under, some type of. They'll still be part of the United States in this case. Maybe every country gets their own little version of this, but
So what
Right,
maybe
do
they
you
right,
make
right.
them a
do?
state. So
So
you
what do
still
you
have
do for someone
federal
who's
laws that are
falsely
governing the
convicted?
whole thing.
What do you do for
Say again?
someone who's falsely convicted?
You live on this island until somebody in the other in society brings you back. I mean, that's basically what it is.
Damn.
So,
I guess you would lose your reproductive
But you,
rights, so that's kind of harsh. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
yeah, cause there's people out here, mainly women. I'm gonna call a spade, but there are people out here lying. So you know what I'm saying? Let's say there was a child who lied on someone, told them that they were sexually assaulted and abused. You know what I'm saying? With this, that, and the third. You find out 5 years later that person was lying, and now that conviction is overturned, or however it is in legal terms. You probably already been
Yeah, yeah,
sterilized by that point,
maybe,
but like at least you would be able to get
yeah,
off the
maybe we have
island.
something with technology wise where we can like reverse the procedure, right? Maybe they'll
I
come
mean,
up with
yeah,
something.
we can already pretty much do that. We can already reverse those procedures.
Yeah, for males, there's like 70% chance to reverse the vasectomy, but for
Yeah,
female, I think it's permanent, right? I'm not sure on females,
I I have to double check. I'm not sure either.
Crazy.
but most pedophiles are males. So let's be honest here. Well, statistically,
I mean, unless they're teachers,
For
which is
sure. Yeah,
crazy to
that look,
say.
that's when it turns to the female game. Teachers, I don't know what it is. They get around testosterone with the boys and then it just goes crazy for them. But yes, it's mainly guys. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They're out here being nasty.
Sugar coated, sugar coated.
Whatever. I'm this it's them. And so when we
But yeah,
got
there's a
full
lot of things you can
circle,
do besides murder. I think.
yeah, there's a couple of alternatives. You're right, and it's kind of why I brought up the question because you know what I'm saying. I support what my friend was coming up with idea wise, but just I do believe in life. You know what I'm saying. Life is very precious, and it should always be considered. You know what I'm saying, in high regard. You should never just try to take away someone's life for
Right.
any reason. You know what I'm saying?
And
I
there's a lot of talented people. There's a lot of talented people that are pedophiles too, apparently. So,
exactly
they can still contribute to society just in a different way.
for real. Stop singing to them kids. You know who I'm talking about. But yeah, man. So Shannon Sharp did that, right? That's pretty much what we came up with at the end of all of this. Shannon Sharp was definitely doing some stuff he wasn't
Well,
supposed to be
I
doing.
don't know about that. I think he was into that kind of like they were into some rough play, and then one day she was, it went too far. That's what I think. And he doesn't come out. I mean, I don't know him, but I don't see. It don't seem like he just came out of nowhere and attacked her. Like they had this ongoing relationship, financial relationship. Where we pay for play situation going. So I think it just went too far one of these nights, and that's what
Took
happened.
it. Yeah, that I think that is what happened. I think he just took advantage of their situation, and it's unfortunate. I do think that makes her a victim, but at the same time, to be dead honest, I can't have no sympathy for her because you were someone that was willing to play that game. You know what I'm saying? That game got out of hand, but let's not deny your
Right.
profession. Let's not deny that, you know what I'm saying? You you had a relationship with this dude for some form of time. So a lot of people were getting on him for like the age discrepancy and shit like that, for her being white and all that other stuff. I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how old he is, as long as they're both legal age and they're both consenting. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the problem here is that the consent was thrown out the window at one point, and now she's like, "Yo, you're not respecting me or my profession." So, yeah, he should have to pay. You know what I'm saying? Whatever she's talking about, you know what I'm saying? He should have to pay that. He looks like a fool at the end of the day, but I don't have sympathy for the girl. I'm gonna be dead honest. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me.
Respect that.
So anyway, I don't know if there's anything else we want to talk about that, or do we have any more topics, or we gonna
Oh,
wrap it up
do you
I
know
have
about the
two
Carmelo Anthony
topics.
situation?
about the what?
Enlighten me.
Carmelo Anthony, the kid who stabbed the white boy.
Oh,
You
I
didn't
Oh
hear
did
about
not know
this?
yeah,
about that. I did
yeah.
not
I,
look. I
I
knew
thought you
about
said
that.
Carmelo Anthony.
That's his name.
Oh,
Yes,
that threw me off. Like, what happened to them?
black people name their children after other black people. Yes, yes, we do
Yes.
I didn't hear about
that.
it besides, the initial part of it. What else can you share with us?
So
I s-
basically,
okay. You go first, cause
got got.
I saw the white family version. I did not see the black versions. I saw one side of this story, but I've heard a lot about it.
Oh,
So
from his
now I
side,
want to know. Yeah, I want to know
right?
more about his side.
Right. So I can tell you from both sides. So, but it's so many stories going around that they haven't really dropped like real information on what's going on or what the situation is yet. But I can tell you what's been going like the stories has been going on. So basically, the first thing was that Carmelo Anthony went into some another team's tent, right? And he was sitting
Isn't
under
true.
it. right? He was sitting under it or whatever, and the two white boys, they're twins. They come up to him. At first, they try. He tells them, "Oh, you can't sit here, whatever. This is our team's tent," which they wasn't even part. That both. But the crazy thing is, it's a track team meet. The two boys, they're play football. So why the fuck are you there too? It's like you can't. It's kind of crazy to me, but whatever. So basically, they try to make him move. They grab his stuff, and he's like, "Yo, if you touch me again, something's gonna happen." And they touched him again. He stabs him. So, so the first thing everybody was saying was that that the two white boys was bullying him, and that's why he brought a knife and he went and sat under the tent, and that it was premeditated. That was one of the things. One of the things that it was like that was his plan. The other thing was the other one was that he was just came under the tent just to get away because they said it was raining or something like that, and he's just trying to get away from the rain. And it was other people that was also under the tent. And the boys just came up to him and was fucking with him or whatever, and the whole situation went down. He was protecting himself. But everybody was saying he shouldn't have had a knife on him anyway. Like, he shouldn't have a knife at the track meet or whatever. So there's a lot of stories going on. You gotta look into it. It's like 5, 6 different stories going around about it. Right now, I think he's out. I think at first they were trying to keep him from getting out of jail. Like his bail was like a fucking $1 million or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think they lowered it. I think he got out, if I'm not mistaken.
250 grand. People raised 250 grand.
Right. So he's right. So it was high. It was high at first, and they lowered it.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I got.
You look okay.
That's what you think. You ain't gotta.
I heard.
I thought I saw something where there was some racism shit going on too.
Yes.
Oh,
word? I ain't see that.
As well. Who's gonna go first? Mello or you, Josh?
I don't know anything about the story, so I'll let you guys go first, and then I'll chime in at the end.
Okay.
All I was gonna say is like people are like kind of like comparing it to like Kyle Rittenhouse,
Right, yeah.
and they're saying stuff like, well, Kyle was at a place where he wasn't supposed to be at, and he shot people that wasn't bothering him, versus this kid's at a place where he's supposed to be at, and he stabbed people in self-defense. But they're not treated the same way.
Yep.
Okay. So let me tell y'all what I saw real quick. I saw the kid's dad talk about it. Not the black kid, but the white kid. And I don't know what the white kid's name is. I'm not trying to show disrespect. Honestly, I didn't even know Carmelo Anthony was the name of the other kid. So just to keep it basic, the black kid and the white kid. So the white kid, he has a twin brother, and yeah, they were under the tent and all that stuff. But the dad was like, okay, these kids, like my sons, were on the football team. The one that passed away was the head of the football team. He was the quarterback or whatever. So he was like, yeah, he had a lot of friends, a lot of people liked him, blah blah blah. He was just trying to stand up and be he was trying to be the what's the word? The brave kid. In the dad's mind, he was trying to be the brave kid and deal with the problem, because the black kid coming underneath their tent or whatever, they said he showed up hostile. Now, keep in mind, the dad was not here. The dad was not there so he's only taking the word from the people he got it from, you know what I'm saying? But he said his other son, the twin brother, was telling him about the situation and said that the black kid pulled up hostile. So the older brother went over there and was like, yo, man, you can't be over here. Now, this is what gives away the racism part to me. Because in the video, the dad said some words were exchanged, and I'm not going to go into what was said, because I think he said some things were said on both sides or whatever, which is letting you know they were talking shit to each other. You know what I'm saying? White kid might have called him the N-word. I don't know. But that goes back into what you guys were saying. There was some form of bullying. These kids knew each other. They went to the same school. He went underneath that tent or whatever, knowing that he's not cool with that kid. Because they're not cool with each other, that's probably the real reason why homie stood up and was like, "You can't be over here." Now, the knife situation. The kid wasn't supposed to have a knife. There's no denying that. You're at a public event. If you're at an event like that, I know it's at a school event, but like, if it wasn't a school event, if it was a basketball game at the stadium or whatever, if it was a football game or whatever, and you got tickets to it, they're checking you at the door. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through some type of security system. There should have been some form of a security system you had to go through to get into that track meet. But because it's a school event, I understand why there wouldn't be. But that black kid is in the wrong for having that knife there because it's a public event, period. However,
Right.
however, if you are in fear of your life because of whatever was said, to take it back to the context of what's going on, this black kid is by himself. Homie goes underneath the tent where he knows he's not welcome. And not only does this white kid pull up, but his twin brother's there as well. And I know his twin brother's there because the dad said that the kid died in his twin brother's arms. So the twin brother is right there underneath the tent with his brother. And if there's an altercation going down like that, he feels like he's about to get jumped maybe. He's looking around. Nobody probably underneath the tent wants him there. There might be girls there that are trying to play neutral to the situation. But any male that was there was probably not feeling the fact that homie tried to hide underneath the tent. Whether it's raining or not, you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, this kid wasn't welcome. And that goes back into the bullying or whatever's going on in between the school. But he struck first. You know what I'm saying? He pulled out a Cobra Kai move, and he pulled out the knife and he stabbed homie. He stabbed the white kid. Where the story goes wrong, and where you want to have some sympathy for the black kid, if you're someone who can relate to his story, is it's not like this fight continued and he stabbed him like 7 or 8 times and blah blah. He pulled out the knife, he stabbed him, he ran off. It's unfortunate that when he stabbed the white kid, he stabbed him in the heart. And that's why he died, you know what I'm saying? Because if he would have just stabbed him like in the chest or something like that, there would have probably been paramedics that could have responded quick enough. But he stabbed him in the heart, homie died almost on the spot. Go ahead.
I have a question. What kind of knife was it?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Because I can't find that. I can't find that anywhere, and this is why it's important. If the knife was under 3 inches long, it is not considered a knife, especially in places like where I stay in the South. It's a tool. If it's under 3 inches, it's a tool.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look.
So, which means it would be perfectly fine if he was 12. If he was 12, it would be perfectly fine for him to have it on him.
Let's see if the internet's willing to tell me that.
To answer the question.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. It doesn't. There's no information on what type of knife he had.
Yeah, they're not really giving that up.
That usually means it's probably a small knife.
Right.
It's just the way the media plays shit. Because like if like let's say my house got raided, right, by the police right now because they had the wrong address and I die. The first thing they're gonna say is, oh well, he had guns in his house. That's not illegal.
Exactly.
But that's the way the media plays shit.
the narrative and have you looking like something crazy out here. They'll have you looking like Diddy's accomplice.
The diddler.
You could end up in a document and saying, "Oh, he had the fanny pack on. He unzipped the band. Josh unzipped his fanny pack and handed Diddy a bottle of baby oil." That's how crazy people will get in these documents. Now Josh got a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? He got to plead for his life because someone wanted to play with his name. That's what happened to Drewski. That's what happened to Drewski. So I'm like, you think I'm playing? You think I'm joking? But unfortunately, that's real life. And that's
No.
why people.
Now you bring that up. How you feel about Ruby Rose lying about him sleeping with him? That shit was funny, bro.
That is crazy too. Why are they lying? Why is everybody lying? Why is everybody lying so much? We'll never know. But anyway, yeah, the Carmelo Anthony situation was pretty crazy. Another one that it's been like 4 weeks, so we didn't really get to talk about a lot of things. But another one that's worth an honorable mention
Right.
is that other track meet where homegirl got hit upside the head with the baton.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That. Yeah, like old girl just swung and cracked that chick upside the head with the baton. Ban her. Ban her from
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, there's no way that was a mistake. I don't care what she says. That was not a mistake.
She's trying to swear that was a mistake, crying and shit. How you playing the victim?
Bro,
Right, that's right.
Life. Or look, a real slap on the hand punishment. Let the other girl do the same thing to her, and then bygones be bygones. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't agree with that.
And let her crack you upside the head with that one time, and then we'll see how you feel, whether or not that was an accident.
Have you ever ran track before?
Nah.
I did. Look.
Oh, so I can't tell. Those batons, they're heavy, but they're not that heavy. They're not heavy enough to where you just like if you tap somebody, you're gonna crack the head skull. You have to put force. You have to.
God.
Yeah, those things.
That's how I know she was lying. They're heavy, but they're not heavy like if you just tap somebody with, you're gonna crack this open. You gotta put force into it.
Facts. But that's how you know she hit her crazy. That chick said she had a concussion. And possibly a fractured skull. They found out later that she didn't, but you know you gotta upsell it. You know you gotta upsell it when you look.
Absolutely.
Oh, she did have it, but still though, that's crazy.
She was like, "Oh, they said she got a fractured skull." That's why the parents told their daughter, like, "You gotta sell this. You gotta make them believe that you didn't really hit her on purpose." And that's why she was throwing out them crocodile tears. It's just...
Facts.
Why you always lying? Oh my God. Why you always lying?
Yeah, all right. We're gonna wrap it up for this week. When the other homies pull back up next week, if they do pull up next week, we gonna get into some of the things we didn't get into. But yeah, just something to look forward to next week. Shout out to the future. That's what I'm gonna say right now. Shout out to the future. I'm the homie HBK Bakora. You know what I'm saying? Your beautiful host. But I'm gonna let the rest of the crew introduce themselves, and we'll do our
It's your boy Just Josh It's your boy Just Josh the Carolina King. You can only catch me here. Don't try to hit me up on Facebook. I don't have no other social media. So you're gonna have to tune into the podcast.
Yes, sir.
It's your boy King Vasto. It was a good pod back. We talked about a lot. And ladies, if you want to talk to me, just come on the Instagram. I'm like Josh. I want y'all to come meet me.
All right. Mello, you want to do your intro? Or you want me to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it. I mean, I don't got much to say, but a mellow blurred. You can catch me on here from time to time. I'll try to be a little bit more vocal and hopefully remember to catch a couple more episodes. But it was fun.
Yes, sir. We gonna be back every Thursday now. We was doing a bi-weekly thing. It didn't really work out. So now we gonna be here every Thursday.
Yeah, not at all.
Unless something happens. But you know what I'm saying? We gonna be here. You got Isaiah in the right corner. Isaiah Vane. He's got a lot of stuff going on. I know he's an artist. He draws and he's got some pretty dope artwork. So check him out on Instagram as well as here at the Casual Chill Crew podcast. You know what I'm saying? And then we got Ayo Nani right above Vasto right here, and she's a dope artist as well. She's got some crazy dope music. Keep an eye out for her because she gonna blow your mind when she starts dropping. So you know what I'm saying. That's a call out right now. Just gonna give her some love right now. And then you got the homie It's Okay at the top left. To be real, I think he's one of our newer members. So I'm glad he pulled up. And you know what I'm saying? Hopefully he continues to, or she. To be honest, I don't even know their gender. I don't know if it matters if they I don't know if they care or not, but you know what I'm saying? I appreciate them pulling up. I really do. And they were in the Song of the Day tab earlier, and they dropped some fire songs. So if y'all don't know, if y'all haven't heard of them,